The Into the Wood update for Grounded is finally here, and with it comes new resources, new weapons, new armor, new insects, and much more. Like I've done with the last couple major updates, I want to give you a quick look at everything you need to know about the new Into the Wood update. Before we begin, I want to thank the Overseer91, Grey Knight, Baz Channel, and all my other channel members who help make videos like this possible. Let's get started. So the first major thing that changed with Grounded in this update is you are actually now able to create custom games. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click single player, we're going to hit new game. And this can only be done with new games. You cannot do it on existing save files right now. I'm not sure if that's going to change, but what you can do is you can start a new game file, go down here to custom, and you can hit customize, and you have all these options. So you can pick the difficulty, you can make it creative or not creative, basically give you full creativity of how you want to play the game. So we're not going to go through all these options here because you can just do that yourself, but it's the major things like hunger, thirst, stamina, durability, food spoiling, all the things that would possibly make the game less fun for you. So that's that. Now let's head on over to the actual map and see what's changed with that. So heading into an actual game, let's take a look at the map changes. So I looked around the map and didn't see anything really changing on the existing parts of the map, other than there is a new scab that's up on top of the picnic table. The rest of this stuff over here, none of the stuff in the sandbox actually looks like it's been changed, so that's probably going to happen in the future update. Mainly what's been changed is the top left corner of the map, which we were expecting. So you have the barbecue spill here. You have the upper grassland, upper yard area here, which is here. This is the shed surroundings, and then we have the wood pile over here, which is where the termites are. You can get on the deck of the shed, but you cannot get into the shed. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to actually get into the shed as of now. I'm not sure if that's going to change in the future. So those are the major map changes. Now let's take a look at all the new items that were added in this update. So first up on the first tab here under craft, we're going to see the new items that have been added. So there is lint rope and pupa lather. These can both be crafted. Lint rope is obviously made from lint, which you can get up in the new area of the backyard. Pupa leather is made from pupa hide, which you can also get in the new part of the backyard. Scrolling down here to upgrades, you can now upgrade your weapons to level 8 and 9. You're going to need jewels to do those. So we have the salty, mint, quartzite, and spicy jewels. So the globs will get you up to level 7 like they used to, and to get to level 8 and 9, you're going to need jewels, which are actually made from globs and twinkling shells, which is another resource we'll check out in a second. I don't think we missed anything over here. Nope. So next up is going to be the new weapons. So we got one new sword, which is the Spicy Coltana. This is essentially the Antlion Greatsword, but spicy version. It will go up the Mighty Path, so you'll actually get a little bit more damage than the Antlion Greatsword, but it is basically a reskin. It does look pretty cool. Has the same exact stats as the Antlion Greatsword, though. Down here, we're going to scroll down. We have a new hammer. So we have the Black Ox Hammer, which you're going to get from the Black Ox Beetle parts, which we'll talk about in a minute. Black Ox Hammer is the Tier 3 hammer. And as of right now, there's not really any uses for it, although it does break things a little bit quicker, and it does do a decent amount of damage. And we have the Termite Axe. The Termite Axe is actually needed to break the new splinters that were added to the game, which you're going to need to make another resource that I'll talk about in a second, as well as to access the special part of the Termite Hill, which you'll need to get to the Termite King, which we'll talk about in a second. So you're going to need that. Termite Axe is decent. Of the new weapons, it's probably the weakest, but it does look pretty cool. And then down here, we have two new arrows. So we have the Splinter Arrow, which is made from wooden splinters, and then we have the Dust Mite Fuzz, which we'll talk about in a second. Super Gas Arrow is a new gas arrow. It does a huge AoE gas attack. It's made from Splinter Arrows and the Super Stink Sack, which you get from one of the new bugs. And that should be everything on this tab. Let's go to the armor. So in this update, the only new armors are going to be, there's a new roly-poly set. Instead of the crusty roly-poly set, it's been replaced by the regular roly-poly set. It does have better defense. You can still have the crusty if you had it from before. There's also a set of crusty roly-poly armor hidden around the map. And then besides that full set, you're going to have the termite armor, which is just a chest piece. This is a light armor. It gives you harvesting speed for grass and rock, and it has 3.5 defense, so it's pretty decent. It is only one piece, though. It's not a full set. Then, of course, we have the roly-poly breastplate, which replaces the crusty, and the roly-poly legs, which replace the crusty. Heading over here to the recipes where the meals are, we have two new meals. You have the Black Ox Burger, which is going to give you plus max health and plus damage resist. This is pretty useful for the new area because the bugs up there are pretty beefy. Termite Delight's going to give you rock harvest speed and grass harvest speed. So if you're building huge bases, like I know a lot of people like to do, this could come in useful there. Heading over to the building options, we do have some new building options. So we have the burr wood floor, we have the burr floor, triangle burr floor, burr curved floor, burr curved half floor, and the burr half floor. I probably repeated some of those. These are kind of expensive, honestly, because the lint rope and the spiky burrs. Lint rope's a little bit expensive to craft. Right now, I don't know if they changed it, but it was in the PTS. But anyway, you get the spiky burrs from the burr plants, which you'll find if you turn off the haze, they're all over the place. If not, I think there's only one location actually on the map with them, unless they patch that out. So that will give you reason to turn off the haze. Then moving over here, I don't think there's anything new in this tab. And then we'll go over to the last tab, which is the item tab. And let's quickly scroll through here and just see if there's anything. I'm pretty sure I left them unmarked so we could see them. So we have the pupa hide, which you're going to get. The pupas are found in the upper backyard area. Some of them are underneath the deck. You can actually shoot those down with an arrow or hit them with a pebble or throw anything at them if you want to throw a weapon and be risky like that. You can knock them down. You have to chop them with a tier 3 axe. So you do need the termite axe to harvest these. There's also some on the ground in the cavern areas which you can find. And then there's also going to be the termite parts, which you get termite part, termite chompers, termite king carapace. The termite part and the termite choppers are dropped by the regular termites and the termite soldiers. Those are two of the new insects we're adding into the game. Termite king carapace is dropped by the termite king. He's kind of a mini boss. He's not actually a mini boss because he's not that hard to kill, but he is beefier than the soldiers. And he does respawn every couple of days, so you can actually go back in and farm his parts. We got the bug loop, which most of the new bugs drop, I believe, from what I've seen. And this is used in a couple of the resources. So the termite axe, spicy coltana, and then 2 of the new meals. Dust mite fuzz is going to be dropped by the dust mites. The dust mites are primarily found up by the shed on the doormat that's in front of it. You can also find them down in the cavern areas in lower numbers. These guys do a decent amount of damage to your armor, so be careful if you're fighting them. Black ox horn and the black ox part come from the black ox beetle. The black ox beetles, there's 3 of them on the map, and I will show you. The black ox beetles are typically over here on the left side of the map. There are 3 of them. And there is actually a way to find them. We'll talk about that in just a second. So going back to the crafting menu, we got lint, which is found from lint that's on the map. So lint is found. There's a gardening glove that you can find a couple pieces of lint on. Also, the doormat's got a lot of it. So the dust mites are going to be protecting it. Spiky burr, we already talked about. This is dropped from the burr plants and the burr weeds. They'll be all over the backyard if you turn the haze off. If not, the only place I've actually seen them, if you did not have the haze turned off, was on a pot that was up on this deck. And I'm not sure if that was intended or not, so they may or may not be there. Twinkling shell is you're gonna get those from the from the scarabs, which are new to the game. What is this out here? Oh, I thought there was a bug. So you're gonna get those from the scarabs, which are a new insect that was added in the game, and these are needed to make all the jewels. So these are for upgrading your weapons to level 8 and 9. Wood splinters can be found all over the wood pile, as well as in other areas of the yard. So there are some on the picnic table. I also think there's some on the wood plank that's over back in near the flooded zone where the 2 wolf spiders are. We have the roly-poly shell and the roly-poly part. These are dropped by the new roly-poly. So there's new roly-polies as well as the sickly. The sickly only drop the parts, I believe. The regular roly-polies drop the shell and the parts. So you're going to need to kill the regular ones in order to make the new armor. We have the super sink sack. This is dropped by the green shield bug. That's a beefy version of the stink bug. And this is used to make the gas arrows. Now, these are pretty expensive to craft because you only get 3 of these from each time you kill the green shield bug. So you're only going to be able to make 9 arrows at a time. And after you shoot them, they lose the effect. So a little bit expensive there. So those are all the new resources that are added into the game. A couple other things that were added are going to be a new burgle chip, which is not showing up here because I haven't actually started the game. I haven't repaired burgle yet. There is a new burgle chip in the wood pile. So 1 new burgle chip. The burgle chip is going to give you 3 new options in the burgle swap shop. It's the unlock the jewels. 2 of them are for the jewels, and 1 of them is for the new meals. So it's going to be pretty cheap. You only need about 8,500 raw science in order to buy the new thing. So you'll be able to find that just in this new area. There's tons of raw science up here. Plus, you may have already had it stocked up in addition to that. There's also been 8 new achievements added to the game, and I'm going to do a full video on how to unlock all those. So those are available right now on the Game Pass, Xbox, and the Steam version. They've all been added into the full update. But one other thing that I didn't show is going to be the survey station. So I don't have them unlocked on here, but basically, if you go into a field station and you want to survey, let's say you found the one that's probably going to be the most likely you're going to be looking for is the twinkling shell. After you've killed a scarab and gotten a twinkling shell, you can then go over to the field stations, and if you've completed the hedge lab, which is where you're going to have to unlock the survey stations, if you've already completed the hedge lab, they'll be retroactively unlocked. If you're starting new, you're going to have to complete that area and turn on the power to power them. That will let you scan the map, and all the field stations you've unlocked will link together and show you where all of them are. So for example, the scarabs are typically up in this new area right here. It'll show you where they are. It's going to show you where they are at the time that you scan, and then of course if things move, they move. If you're looking for quartzite or you're looking for any type of like feathers or stuff like that, those will be obviously static because they just stay in one place. So hard to find resources are going to be easy to get with the survey stations, so that's a great update. So in addition to all those things, I already mentioned some of the new bugs that were added, so I'm not going to show you all the new bugs. I'll let you guys go find those for yourself. But basically, we have the scarabs, which I already talked about. Those are up in the upper yard. In the termite hill, you're going to have the termite soldiers, and the termite king. The termite soldiers and termites do wander down here into the area here by the spike a little bit sometimes, so you might see them. The black ox beetles are typically over here on the left. There were 3 of them in the PTS. Not sure if they increased them. We have the roly-polies are up here, so the new roly-polies are up here. The sickly ones are still back down here where they were. The regular there's like 2, I think, up here in the grasslands area, maybe one down here and one over here, I can't remember, that are the regular roly-polies. We also have the green shield bug. So the green shield bug was originally behind this fertilizer bag, and then I did see him down here by the picnic table. So he may be in different locations. You'll know him from the regular stink bugs because he is very green and he will have a massive health bar. Also up here, you're going to find dust mites. So the dust mites are going to be up here on the deck area and also down here, which you're not really seeing on the map. There's cavern areas around here. This whole area's got caverns and stuff in it. So there's some dust mites down there, but predominantly you're going to find them up here on the floor mat. And then the other new bugs are going to be the ladybirds and the ladybird larvae. Ladybird larvae are under the ground. They will pop out. So you're going to find a lot of them over here in the barbecue area. And you're also going to find them actually through most of the upper. They can be down in the caverns too. They pop out of the ground. They're just beefier versions of the regular larva. They don't drop anything special. Ladybirds are beefier versions of the ladybugs. I primarily have seen them over here on this right side here by this bike. There's a couple of them that spawn over there. As of now, they haven't changed it yet. They may in the future. They don't drop anything special. They just drop ladybug parts and, of course, the bug loop, which all these new bugs do. And then last but not least, I think that's all but the one. The other bug that I haven't talked about that was added is the infected wolf spider. Infected wolf spiders, as of the last time I played, were found either underneath of the oak tree or over here on the right side of the deck. Those are the two locations they can spawn. They do not appear until you turn the haze off. So once you turn the haze off, these wolf spiders, the two under the oak tree and the one by the leaf, as well as the one up, there's one up here, can also be infected. So do be mindful of that. That's one of the reasons you may or may not want to turn off the haze. So looking at the mutations, there were no new mutations added in this update. As far as I know, not yet. So it looks like we still have the same number of mutations. So no new mutations were added. I don't believe they added any new quests, unless they added them after the PTS was over. So you're probably going to be doing the same daily burgle quests, other than the Find the Termite Hill chip. That's going to be the only new one. And then we also are going to have here a couple of things that changed that were major. Of course, I did a bunch of videos on these. All the weapons in the game, except for the Club of the Mother Demon, had their damage reduced. Most of them were reduced by about 8.33%. Some of them, like the Antlion Greatsword and Salt Morningstar, were nerfed a little bit harder. The hammers were actually really nerfed in terms of damage as well as stun. And then other weapons had their stun lowered a little bit as well as their speed. So the Antlion Greatsword got the damage and speed reduction. Salt Morningstar got damage. I think the stun also changed a little bit. The speed did not. But you're going to notice definitely weapons are going to be a little bit weaker than they were before. Even if you upgrade them to level 9, they're still going to be weaker than they were at level 7 before. Also, a couple other things. The upgrade cost is going to be more expensive to get them to the highest level. So the jewels are going to make it cost more. The repair costs, now if you get it, once you level it up past level 5, repair costs now cost globs instead of just the salt shards or the quartzite shards or the mint or the spicy shards. You're actually going to use globs, so they're more expensive to repair. Durability was actually really lowered, but they did come back and increase it a little bit. So you still will probably notice your weapons and armor are going to degrade a little bit faster than prior to this update. So do be mindful of that. You're probably going to have to be repairing stuff more often. The big armor change is going to be the Spider armor and Antlion armor are now both medium. They both had their defenses increased, but they are now medium instead of light. So no more are you going to be able to run around with the Spider armor and never run out of stamina. And then the B armor was actually changed from medium to light. I'll probably do a whole video on changes to weapon and armor, so I don't want to get too deep into that, but those are the major things there. And then in the new area, there were also 12 milk molars that were added. I don't think they've snuck any more in after the fact, but there were 12 as of the end of the public test server. There's 6 gold and 6 milk molars. I do have a video on where they are. When I recorded the video, there was only 10 of them in that video, so I'll probably update that video just to show where all 12 of them are. If you watch that video, you'll see where 10 of them are, and in the comments, I do have a pinned comment showing where the 2 that were added are, but I will probably make another video showing where the last 2 were and just have a full set of like all 12 of where they are. And then one last thing before I wrap it up, I think I've covered everything that was new that was added in the update, or everything that I thought. Actually, no, there are a couple things. There are some quality of life things, like you can change the brightness and the color of your lights in your house. You can change the direction of your bounce webs and how much power they have. You can basically drop your stuff into chests. So basically, if you have chests with stuff, like let's say you have a chest that has plant fiber and another chest that has mushrooms in it, and you have those in your inventory, you can basically just auto deposit them into the chests, so you don't have to actually go into every chest, and it'll just put them in there. Of course, you're gonna have to go in and clean them up, but that's that. And then the very last thing I want to mention, and I think this was added really late in the public test server. The koi fish in the koi fish pond is ultra aggressive now and has a massive range. So I was swimming in there the other day and minding my own business, and normally it just swims around and doesn't bother you. That thing was hunting me down and actually ate me. That was the first time I've died to it in a long time, because it was chasing me around the koi pond. If you get you need to be careful. If you get anywhere near it, it is going to chase you. So make sure you have on the underwater gear if you're diving down in there. Otherwise, you are probably going to get wrecked by the koi fish. So that's everything you need to know about the Into the Wood update for Grounded. Let me know what your favorite new thing is in the comments down below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.